Hi, my name is Greg McCurdy. I'm a deacon here at Culbertson Baptist Church, have been for some time. And my favorite story, or one of my favorite stories, I've got several actually, has to do with during Passover time when the story came out of the feeding of the 5,000 in the book of John. So John chapter 6 says, sometime after this, Jesus crossed to the far shore of the Sea of Galilee, that is the Sea of Tiberias, and a great crowd of people followed him because they saw the miraculous signs he had performed on the sick. Then Jesus went up on the mountainside and sat down with his disciples. The Jewish Passover feast was near. When Jesus looked up and saw a great crowd coming toward him, he said to Philip, where shall we buy bread for these people to eat? He asked this only to test him, for he already had in mind what he was going to do. When these people were traveling around, most of these people knew doggone good and well that they better have some food with them. And to travel around with virtually nothing but the clothes on their back would have been a tough thing to work through. So they knew that you couldn't go down here to the corner and there's not a honey-baked goat store. There's not a 12 Guys Camel Burger place located around. There's not a Disciples John's Pizza. There's not a Zaxby's to where they can get a carry out. And so many of them had packs that they would carry around with them that would have food in them. So when you've got this crowd, then all of a sudden it's coming close to mealtime and somebody needs something to eat, then they may be reluctant to pull something out of their pack because of the fact that there may be other people around them that didn't have anything to eat. So because of that, they would keep it in their packs. So Philip answered him, 8 months' wages would not buy enough bread for each one to have a bite. And another of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, spoke up. Here's a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish, and how far will they go among so many? So a young child wouldn't be bashful at all about pulling this food out and then possibly even thinking about sharing it with somebody else. So sometimes we as adults don't think the same way as children. So Jesus said, have the people sit down. There was plenty of grass in that place, and the men sat down, and about 5,000 of them. Jesus then took the loaves, gave thanks, and distributed those who were seated as much as they wanted. He did the same with the fish. And when they all had enough to eat, he said to his disciples, gather the pieces that are left over, and let nothing be wasted. So they gathered them and filled 12 baskets with the pieces of 5 barley loaves left over by those who had eaten. So when you think about it, that the miracle may not necessarily have been the fact that Jesus took the 5 loaves and the fishes and multiplied them to where everyone could eat. The miracle may have been the fact that the people's hearts were transformed and they realized, hey, I'm not going to be selfish about this. I'm going to take the lead from this little child, and I'm going to share what I brought with everyone else. So one of the things that I've learned from some of my Bible studies from so many times, and from courses that I took in New Testament and Old Testament when I was in college, was that sometimes you have to read between the lines. And I think this is a case very possibly where we may be doing exactly that, reading between the lines and realizing that the message to come out of that is that if we all share, then there's going to be enough for everyone.